Hi everyone, in another look back feature in this lockdown phase that we're all in, I thought I'd take a look at Wham's The Final box set edition from 1986. Now this was Wham's third album. They only had 2 studio albums and they rounded it off with this greatest hits effectively called The Final. In America there wasn't The Final, it was called Music from the Edge of Heaven. Interestingly, there was a double cassette version, there was a double album, double vinyl version, and then there was a CD version which was slightly truncated to make it fit on one CD, and then there was this box set edition which is kind of like a forerunner to the whole super deluxe edition box sets that arrived much later. I mean, this was 1986, this is quite an unusual thing to do, but such was Wham's popularity. You know, they had a massive fan base that Epic obviously thought this was a worthwhile project. So yeah, so it's kind of size you might expect. Catalogue number Wham 2. There's the classic Epic label. I don't know whether this was stuck on the back originally or not. I actually picked this up from eBay many years ago. I didn't buy this originally, but it is all intact. So let's take a look at the contents. I'll lift off the lid. Well, I'll lift off the lid, but it's kind of a lift off lid, but it's stuck, so you can't actually totally lift it off. So I'm just going to open it like that. So what you get inside this box set, well, you get a Wham The Final box set notepad, which kind of looks like that. Nice photo of George and Andrew on the front. You get this pencil, just trying to get it into focus. A Wham The Final box set pencil. And most excitedly, you get a t-shirt. Now this was sealed, but I opened it just to try it on once as a bit of a joke. Its size, what size is this? Yeah, this is a medium. There you go. More or less brand new. I put it on once as a joke and it didn't really do very much for me. So let's just say it was slim fit. Pretty cool though. It's still an ambition. I'm going to get back into this t-shirt one of these days. I'll know I've lost weight when I can fit into my Wham t-shirt. The t-shirt was attached to this backing card, you see. And the all-important certificate. This is numbered. So look, they did 25,000 of these box sets, if you believe what's written on here. These days this would be signed, wouldn't it? They didn't need to do stuff like that back then. They sold loads of quantities without all that. And then the final bit of content, actually it's not quite the final, but that wasn't a pun. It wasn't intended to be. So this is the double album, and so let's just go through what was on this record. So you had the 12-inch version of Wham Rap, 12-inch version of Young Guns, 12-inch version of Bad Boys, Club Tropicana, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go, the 12-inch of Careless Whisper, Freedom, the 12-inch version of Last Christmas, the 12-inch version of Everything She Wants. For some reason these are all called 12-inch versions when they're actually specific mixes, and I think they're labelled as such on the other formats. I don't know why they've decided to call these just 12-inch versions, and especially since I'm Your Man, it doesn't say 12-inch version, it says extended stimulation, which is the 12-inch version. Notably, you get the studio version of Blue Armed With Love. On the CD it was the live version, or maybe it wasn't on the CD at all, I can't remember. It was certainly on Music from the Edge of Heaven. And then you get a different corner, and then these were the sort of newish tracks from the time: Battle Stations, Where Did Your Heart Go, which is a cover, and The Edge of Heaven. This isn't a gatefold, it's a double album, but it's 2 records in a sleeve. These are the records. I think I'm right in saying that unique to this box set, these are gold coloured vinyl pressings. They actually look quite good for gold. It's more of a picture disc than a coloured vinyl pressing that you'd get now, because you can see it's over printed with text and everything. The quality's probably quite poor if these are effectively picture discs. I'm sure someone can tell me. There's the other one, side 2. See, it's got all the track listing on the actual record. So they go back in the sleeve. This is like an insert. Maybe this actually went in the record, I can't remember. This is a little message saying thank you, basically. That's kind of like one of the last photo sessions from '86. And last but not least, a Wham calendar for 1987. So bearing in mind this came out in second half of 1986, kind of makes sense for the calendar to be the following year. It notes Andrew and George's birthdays, 26th of Jan for Andrew, 25th of June for George. And these are obviously the pictures of all the singles. It's funny, isn't it? If you take out Careless Whisper in a different corner, they had so few singles really, but they made a lot of it. And that's that. Box is empty, so no kind of jigsaw, no badges, no postcard. Apart from the pencil and the pad, not too much in the way of tat, I suppose. Certificate. T-shirt is probably the best thing actually. I do quite like this t-shirt. One of these days I will try and wear it. And then notepad, pencil, lid back on, and there you have it. Now of course I wouldn't say this was the first box set. They have been plenty of box sets. Let It Be in 1970 was there was a box set version of that. So I'm not claiming this is one of the first ever box sets, but it's certainly, you can see the kind of lineage, can't you, into the last 10-15 years. This is kind of like a forerunner to that. So this is Paul from Super Deluxe Edition taking a look at Wham! The Final Box Set.